Ilang rookies na ang nagpakitang gila sa UAAP Season 79. Kabilang dyan ang leading MVP contender na si Ben Embala ng Lasal at ang sharpshooter naman ng Adamson na si Jeric Ahanmisi. Pero hindi lang sila ang impressive rookies ngayong season at marami ang nagsasabi na may potensyal ang batch nila na maging best rookie batch ever sa kasaysayan ng UAAP. Tama ba yan, Mr. Enzo Flojo? Welcome back to The Score. Let's break this down. First of all, asterisk, Ben Embala, yes, qualified for Rookie of the Year?
I don't think so. I mean, first, he's not Filipino. He's an import. Second, he's a transferee.
Yes.
I mean, he played for Southwestern. That's the really critical thing there.
It's like 3 years residency.
Yeah.
Ang rules ng UAAP for Rookie of the Year is kailangan
straight out of high school, you know.
True freshman.
True freshman, bale. Yeah.
Okay, but still, okay. Let's talk about Ben first. His impact as a first-year player for Lasal. What impact kasi? I mean, parang natatawa na lang tayo kasi grabe, parang hindi na nga siya, you know, even the transferees sometimes have adjustment
yes,
period.
Definitely.
Pero given that, na he doesn't need to have an adjustment period, that he's dominating already. What can you say about that?
Well, he's really playing like a man among boys right now, Teach. You know? I mean, imagine when that meteor killed the dinosaurs before, parang ganun si Embala ngayon. He's like a meteor just killing all the competition here in the UAAP. You know, he has size, he has speed for given his height. He's very tenacious, very aggressive, walang takot talaga, and he knows how to use all those tools. And Coach Alden Ayo knows how to use him.
Right.
In that system.
I want to add to that and you know, talk about this. Yung kanyang depensa, I think all the more was highlighted in the Alden Ayo Mayhem system because maybe in the past 2 years that we've seen him in the Phil Oil that he's been playing in or wherever, hindi natin na-realize na kaya pala niya bubantay ng point guard, nangaagaw ng point guard one-on-one on a full court press. I expected his dominance inside. I didn't expect his dominance on perimeter and even, you know, full court defense.
Yeah, and that's what makes him really, really great, no? Because you think you have him boxed in as a dominant big man, but here he comes, working well in this mayhem press of Lasal, guarding wingmen, guarding point guards, and being very effective on both ends of the floor.
Correct. So he's literally a 1 through 5 defender. Kaya niya na 1 through 5. Okay, let's go down the list naman of the ones who are pretty sure that are true rookies na may chance talaga for Rookie of the Year award. Adamson's Jeric Ahanmisi has been great. I mean, in a breakout first game, of course, it's hard to always come up with the same numbers in the second game. Medyo na-scout ka na, check ka na. But we're seeing his skill is, for me, iba yung maturity level din niya. No? Parang ibang level siya kaagad pumasok.
Yeah, he doesn't really get rattled. I mean, even if in the past couple of games we've seen him, he hasn't caught fire like he did in that first game. That was very memorable. Hindi siya ganun kainit the past few games, but still, he doesn't get rattled. He made that big pass to Rob Manal, a key play against Ateneo this past weekend. He's the kind of guy na kahit first year pa rin sa liga, hindi siya dinadaga, you know, and I'm sure Coach Franz Mara knows this, he can rely on this kid in the big moments to make the clutch play.
And it's hard to have a steady, calm presence in a chaotic Franz Pumaren-paced game. I mean, we've seen that in the past when he was running LaSalle, and there were a few guys who would have that. I can imagine like Ren is one of those guys na kahit ano yung pace, he can just slow things down and take over a game. Parang may ganung potential si Ahanmisi.
Yeah, definitely. You know, he's like one of those guys na when he wants to, he can be in that particular zone where nothing else matters.
Correct.
And he can just do whatever he wants.
Exactly. All right. Another guy who actually a lot of people are surprised he got in right away. There were some questions about his eligibility. Justin Baltazar of LaSalle. First of all, surprising he's getting minutes.
Yes.
Kasi people thought he would really sit back in the back burner, pero parang yung minutes ni Prince Rivero napupunta sa kanya. We're seeing Prince, limited minutes. But then again, he's so agile and he can do so many things for Coach Alden.
And this is something we saw the past couple of seasons. When he was still with NU, he was big, big, long, lanky, but he could run the floor. He's, like what you said, he's very agile for his size. And he's you know, he's showing that now. And again, he's fearless then. I mean, there's one game where he had like 5 blocks, 8 rebounds, and we see glimpses of, wow, this kid can be very, very dominant very, very soon for LaSalle. In fact, if kung wala si Embala, baka he could be a fringe starter pa for that team.
True. I mean, Embala's obviously off the charts. He's a different human being, so to speak. But itong si Baltazar, I'm trying to compare him to other super tall, read thin, you know, shot blockers of LaSalle. Try to help me out in the past years. But parang iba yung mobility niya. Parang lamang siya sa mobility. You think?
Siguro, if we're talking about recent years, maybe the one who really comes to mind is UTN Andrada.
Yun na nga eh, UTN or maybe Rico Meyerhofer.
Pwede rin si Rico Meyerhofer. I don't think he has the offensive game of Rico.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has the instincts yet of UTN
Not
on
yet.
defense. But he potentially can have the best of both worlds once he matures. Once he reaches maybe as soon as his third or fourth year, he could be that really, really dominant guy for
And he has the luxury of not getting the spotlight or attention because it's all going to be an Embala thing.
That's
so
true,
he can just, you know, slowly, without pressure, mature his offensive game as well. So we'll see. Okay, down the list, you've got Richie Rivera also for LaSalle. What a revelation this kid in limited minutes. But you've seen him. You've seen him ends a lot in juniors and in Batangilas as well.
Yes, for three
are we seeing as good as advertised meeting the hype as well?
Well, what really has surprised me about Richie Rivera is his willingness to play a relatively small role in the big pond of De La Salle. I mean, when he was with the Salle Green Hills, he was the biggest fish in that pond. When he was with Batangilas 3-on-3, he was also a member of a 4-man team. So lahat kayo malalaking roles. Now, he's been able to adjust, and given limited minutes, he's been able to produce. Whether he's coming off the bench, there was one game he actually started, and he still did pretty well. Of course, what everybody remembers right now is his high-flying antics, no? His reverse dunk in that one game. Wow, that was amazing.
Here it is. There you go.
There you go. But, you know, this guy can do more than just that. And once he matures, once he gets more minutes, we're gonna get to see a lot of good playmaking because that's what he was known for in high school.
So it's not just the athletic ability.
Oh no,
that's a given now. So he's got more basketball IQ that we can expect.
Oh,
from him.
Definitely. That's why he's really highly coveted.
Exciting to see more of that. Okay, and then before we leave the players of LaSalle, we've got Melesio. This kid, I'm personally surprised because I saw him in the hoops. In the Slam Rising Stars, and I was like, wow, he's good. But that was playing against the juniors kids.
I didn't know, not as big as what he's playing against now.
Honestly didn't expect him to play so confident and such impactful minutes in the seniors level right away. Para sa'yo, anong
well, in a way, siguro I'm a little surprised also. I mean, I've been watching this kid since 4 years ago, 5 years ago in high school. So I know what he can do. In fact, he reminds me a lot of Renzo Subido a little bit. They're very possession heavy. They like to shoot. But this kid, like what you said, Deej, even at this level, he's thrust into a major role for LaSalle, and he's been able to deliver. But that's really the kind of player Melesio is. He has that swag, that confidence that he takes to the court, and he feels like he's the best player on the court.
Galing. So again, another kid who seems to be more mature on the court than most people think.
That's true.
All right. Another guy similar to him, Jolo Mendoza from Ateneo. Of course, a lot of hype as well coming out of high school. So much comparisons to Kiefer and whatnot. How has he handled the pressure so well so far?
Well, I think he's handled it pretty well. I mean, he hasn't played every game. So, dun pala makita mo na you can't really compare him to Kiefer. Because when Kiefer was, in his first year, he basically took the team in the league by storm. Diba? Salang agad. Si Jolo is not going to get as many minutes as Kiefer did before. And he's going to play a bit of a different role. But he's the kind of player who's okay with that. And like what Richie Rivera is going through right now, see Jolo, he'll just make the most of whatever minutes are given to him by Coach Tab Baldwin. Right now, I think he's being groomed to be a shooter for Ateneo. Of course, they lost Von Pesumal. They have Anton Asistio. But Jolo Mendoza eventually, I think, will inherit that role of a zone buster, for Ateneo.
Well, another guy, before we go, who was, I think, one of their teammates as well in the Batangilas was Josh Sinclair. Josh ba ang first name niya?
Josh
of NU.
Yes.
Another kid who's got a lot of comparisons to a great player outside of the country. Kobe Parasama na kino-compare kasi I don't know if it's fair for him. Too much pressure on that because in the FIBA 3-on-3, like, medyo tisoy, high leaping, small forward. Maybe it was just that. But how good is Sinclair and how good can he be and thrive in an Eric Altamirano system?
Well, he was very good for Sacred Heart School at Ateneo de Cebu. Several years ago, they ruled the CESAFI leagues. But he was playing against competition that wasn't as big. And to be quite honest, not as deep as here in Manila, So this is really an acid test for someone like Josh Sinclair. He's not like Kobe Paras. He's not a high flyer. He's not as tall or as long as Kobe. But what he lacks in athleticism. He more than makes up for in basketball IQ
okay.
and his mid-range game. At his best, he was Batangilas' best scorer last year.
Interesting.
And early this year as a mid-range scorer. So that's something we can see him develop as the years go by for NU.
Okay, as a whole, that was the premise of this discussion. One of the more exciting rookie batches, you think?
Definitely.
In a lot of, in the past so many years.
I've been excited about this batch for the past couple of seasons because I followed many of them in high school.
Right.
Itong si Jolo Mendoza and Aljun Melesio, they've been rivals since they were in grade 6, grade 7. So seeing them now, iba yung dating. And all of these guys, sa pinag-usapan natin, Teach Richie, Jolo, Aljun, Justin, even Josh Sinclair, all of them have the potential to be the future superstars of their respective teams.
And just looking at the landscape of the UAP now, it's really only LaSalle that has dominant veterans.
Yeah.
So give it a year or two, these guys will rule the league.
Oh, definitely.
It's going to be fun to see them go at
expected.
it. All right, Enz, maraming salamat. We'll see you again next time.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.